So we just got news that Iran has sent missiles into Israel. Kind of a scary situation, this violence in the Middle East. But what you need to know, the violence in the Middle East has been going on for decades and decades, well before I was born. Many presidents have tried to deal with this, and some of them have been successful on a temporary basis, but not permanently. Now, a lot of Republicans will blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for what's going on in the Middle East, and that's absolutely bullshit. There's only so much a president and a vice president can do in this situation. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done everything they can. They've mediated. They've tried to apply pressure. They tried to do a lot of things. But there's other factors in this violence that people aren't considering. First of all, this war between Israel and Hamas, we should have had a ceasefire by now. Joe Biden put pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu, the president of Israel, to accept a ceasefire, but he hasn't as yet. And you need to know why. Benjamin Netanyahu is a mini Donald Trump, and he's in trouble. When the war ends, he's probably going to be ousted from his position and probably sent to jail. So you know why he's motivated to continue with this war. What can Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do in that situation if one party, the Israeli president, isn't willing to negotiate or compromise or even consider a ceasefire? What do you do? Now, with Iran sending missiles to Israel, this poses another problem. And again, the Republicans will try to blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But I want you to understand something. Who supports and who pulls the puppet strings on Iran? That would be Russia. Russia is culpable in this situation. Russia is concerned about how this presidential election will end up. They want Donald Trump to win, and they might be willing to do virtually anything to help that happen. Here's the thing. Iran sends missiles into Israel. They want to blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But who does Donald Trump and all the little Trumplafucks support more than anybody? Vladimir Putin in Russia. So they are supporting Russia and Iran in this effort into Israel. But then Donald Trump also supports Benjamin Netanyahu, and Benjamin Netanyahu gains from this violence and this upset that's going on in the Middle East. You can try to blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There are a bunch of people trying to blame them for what's going on there. They've done everything they can do, and we have parties that just want it to continue. Ultimately, it will settle down. We don't know what Israel's going to do in response to Iran, but it could be quite a mess. We've got our fingers crossed, hoping that it's not. But this is a mess in the Middle East. This is a problem. And if you want to blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you're looking in the wrong fucking direction. We're going to watch it very closely and pray that everything turns out all right and it ends soon. But that's going to be up to Benjamin Netanyahu, Iran, and Russia, and who Donald Trump and the Republicans support. Once this election is over, a lot of things are going to settle down. Everything is around this election. The Russians, the Iranians, they want a puppet in there that they can manipulate. Kamala Harris isn't that one, so they don't want Kamala in there. So they're going to do anything to cause disruption or make it difficult for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris leading up to the election. Don't let that happen. It's just all smoke and fucking mirrors. We know what's going on. We know who is about peace, and we know who is about war. Donald Trump is about war, and that's where it's got to stop at this election.